Now let's hear from a couple who completely changed their financial situation, which helped them during the 2008 recession and now with COVID-19. Welcome, Jason and Allison. Thank you guys for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your story and what made you guys want to change what you were doing with money.
Okay, so back in what they call the crash, right? Back in 2006 and 7 and 8. At the time, Allison and I we were farmers. We actually worked on a farm, and we made like $43,000 a year, and we had no budget. And at the time, I think we probably had $1,000 in our bank account, and we had $19,000 in debt. And I had heard this guy, Dave Ramsey, on the radio, and I just decided, we were kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, let's just listen to the program, see what it's about, and let's try to fix the mess that we got into. So that's kind of how it started for us.
I love that. I think that's the point, right? You get to this point, like you said, and you're like, okay, I'm tired of living this way. Like, it shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't have $1,000 to my name and thousands of dollars of debt. Like, this is not working.
100%.
And so you guys really buckled down and you decided to get on a budget, start the plan. So I want to know about the first budget. What was that like when you guys sat down to do it?
Okay.
What was it like between you guys both?
So the budget was interesting. I always envisioned a budget as it was a bad word. And I just didn't even want to talk about it. You probably want to hear about our fights, right? So
well, we all have them. We all have them. So yeah, I'll hear yours.
Because when we did the budget, my wife is, she just trusts me and she's like, you do the budget. Well, that was not Dave's advice. Dave's advice is it needs to be a group effort. So I created the budget, but I slid it across the table and said, hey, look at this and can we agree to this? And there was one thing that you wanted different.
The clothing budget, of course.
Yes.
Well, before we got on a budget, I always felt so guilty spending money. Like every dollar, I was like, am I taking from our retirement? Am I, taking from our kids? But after having a budget for each one of those items, like it just felt so good knowing that that money is for that particular item.
Well, that's like the perfect example of that a budget doesn't limit your freedom, it gives you freedom.
Yes.
And so your life, beforehand, like you're saying, you're questioning every purchase, you were nervous, is this stealing from our retirement? I mean, all these questions, but they're all answered in the budget. You don't have to have guilt or shame about it. It's there, it's planned for. I think that's incredible. So I'm curious, how long did it take you guys to get through baby steps 1 through 3?
So baby step 2, to get out of debt, we had a fixed income. If I made not a single dollar more, which was going to be the case, we were going to go, it would take 18 months to get out of debt. And then I ended up selling my Jeep, and my Jeep was at the time was my prized possession. I sold that because it was paid off at the time, and it would catapult us forward so much, and it gave us an opportunity. I rode my bike to work every day. Rachel, we went from $1,000 in our bank account, $19,000 in debt. 9 months later, we had no debt and $14,000 in savings. And this is why I credit Ramsey organization for saving our life. I lost my job. And if that would have happened with that debt and with no money, I mean, my kids never knew. They never knew that I went almost 6 months with no income, and they never knew because of what your organization did for us. So we literally credit it was saving our life. I was not a Christ follower when I listened to Dave originally, and none of my family were. And he would say, hey, this is how you should handle money. By the way, this guy Jesus said that. And I would be like, oh, that's cool. I just want to hear about the money stuff, right? But I now know, and at that time, we realized all of those things were leading us in a certain direction because God already knew where we were going. He already knew what was going to happen. And we were just lucky to hear the call to do these things to set us up so that we would succeed. And it was all because of Dave and Chris Hogan and Rachel. And so we're so grateful and blessed for that.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, that's the ultimate. That's our ultimate goal, right? And you even got there. I mean, that's it. I mean, the money stuff, like you said, we disguise it to show Jesus to people. And so that's it. I mean, you felt it, which is incredible. That's such a higher calling of changing your family tree beyond even the money stuff.
Yes,
so
100%.
That's an incredible legacy, an absolute incredible legacy. So for you guys though, man, so you changed spiritually, you changed financially. I mean, for the better in so many cases. So right now, there are a lot of families that they're struggling, they're freaking out, they've had to dip into their emergency fund because of the pandemic. What kind of motivation, what kind of hope can you give those families out there? Because you guys have experienced a little bit of that, when you lost your job, not through COVID-19, but earlier than that. So what kind of advice do you give for people out there who are kind of scared, they're kind of worried, they haven't really started a plan?
I can guarantee that anyone listening right now has probably been to a gym. And the first 3 weeks of going to the gym is the worst, right? It's hard to wake up every day and do something that you physically feel like is hurting you.
Follow through with it.
But after 3 weeks, you start to see a little bit of improvement, and it starts to get fun. And after 3 months, you see a lot of improvement, and you get stronger and faster. And things you couldn't do, you can suddenly do. And it will be hard, right? There's no shortcut. Like you're not going to just take money and put it into this account. Like it will take time, and it might take years. It literally could take years to do this, but it is so worth it because even if you keep your job, even if you don't get sick, but what if you do lose your job? What if you do get, these things could happen. So when those things happen in our lives now, we walk different, talk different.
Yeah, it's now, it feels so good to be able to give to people, to be in that position, to people that are struggling or having a rough day, we can give.
And we're so grateful for the sacrifices that we made up front so that we could live this life. And I want that for all Americans because it is possible. It is totally possible. No matter what income you make, you can do this. You just have to stay the course.
It's amazing. Well, you guys are the complete picture of what it looks like to take control of your money and do something different. I mean, you changed your money habits. You changed the way you viewed money. You found the truth of how money works. You applied it to your life. You actually did the steps. And now here you are. I mean, debt-free completely, money in the bank, and able to take a whole other career, into real estate. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. You guys, thank you so much for being on. So if you want to learn everything that they just did, what they just talked about, make sure to go to daveramsey.com/hope and go through our free 14-day trial of the 9 Lessons of Financial Peace University. You're going to learn so much and learn how to take control of your money and be like these guys. I mean, absolutely incredible.